These Cheddar Bay biscuits. We got that right the first time. Welcome back.
I'm Austin Jackson, and my team is proud to be the official injury lawyers of the Augusta Green Jackets. The Augusta guy, supporting Augusta's team and all those who call the CSRA home.
He was going to kill me, it's believed, on the day that I was rescued.
Real people.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Real problems.
We thought, oh, well, they're going to let her go.
Real life solutions.
It will save lives, no doubt about it.
Investigate TV Plus.
At Parker's Kitchen, we go big, like our huge, crunchy, juicy, never frozen chicken tenders with an extra large serving of Parker's signature sauce. At Parker's Kitchen. Live from Augusta. Breaking news.
Breaking news live at 5, developing right now. A multi-agency hunt is underway in search of a woman after a crash in North Augusta.
Now, officials say it happened on Gregory Lake Road at the entrance of Gregory Landing subdivision. We're showing you a photo of her right now. Her name is Susan Rhodes. They say the woman is wearing a bright red shirt, has an arm sling, and was last seen going through a yard on Gregory Lake Road. Officials say a witness tells them she appeared to be disoriented and possibly suffering from a medical issue.
They say she left the roadway during the crash and then went into a ditch before she wandered off into the woods. Now, we do have a crew on the way to that scene right now. We do plan to take you there live as soon as they get there. But in the meantime, if you see this woman, you are urged to call North Augusta Dispatch.
Looking at radar, we are tracking some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, and they have been producing some strong wind and even some hailstones at times. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning with these, so if you're anywhere around the area, you start to hear that thunder, make sure you are getting inside. Right now, we do not have any severe warnings to mention here across the CSRA, but we have been tracking some pretty decent thunderstorms, especially in northern Aiken County. There is a special weather statement with that thunderstorm for possibly 40 to 50 mile-an-hour wind gusts, maybe even up to nickel-size hail. You can see that's where the heaviest rain is, as it also impacting a good stretch of I-20. Remember, if you're going to be driving in these heavy downpours today, do not turn on your hazards. Turn on your regular headlights, not brights. Do not use your hazards. It makes it very hard to gauge the distance between cars whenever those hazards are on. That's the strongest thunderstorm we're looking at, but we've had some pretty persistent rain here over North Augusta as well. But just a closer look, this is right between Ward and Wagner. And what's going to be happening the rest of this evening, these outflow boundaries are going to be colliding, and they're going to be popping up more showers and thunderstorms. So we're likely going to see this type of activity stick around a good portion of our evening hours, possibly even up and towards midnight. Current view outside of our studios, very dark skies, and there is some heavy rain there just across the river. An update on the rest of the week for you coming up in just a bit.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. Fort Gordon makes its return. The instant name change comes about a year and a half after the post was named Fort Eisenhower.
Now, Fort Gordon bears the name of Master Sergeant Gary Gordon. He was recognized for his valor during the Battle of Mogadishu in Somalia in 1993. Gordon died defending wounded soldiers. Just 2 hours ago, Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson released a statement on the renaming. It reads, quoting here, "While we believe the Fort Eisenhower name was a fitting tribute, given President Dwight D. Eisenhower's deep personal connection to Augusta, at the same time, we are proud to honor the legacy of Fort Gordon's new namesake, Master Sergeant Gary I. Gordon."
A spokesperson at the now Fort Gordon releasing a statement as well, saying, quote, "We appreciate the support and understanding of our Central Savannah River area community that has been a proponent of the installation since the early 1940s. Your Audrey Dickerber joins us live at 5 in studio as the community reacts to the name change. Audrey, what are people saying about it?
Well, there's mixed emotions about the change. Some say they just got used to calling it Fort Eisenhower, while others say they never stopped calling it Fort Gordon. And here's what many people are saying online. Some say they wish it would just stay the same, while others say bring the original name back. And Fort Eisenhower's Facebook now says Fort Gordon in their intro. I spoke to one woman who was a civilian that worked on post and also used to live at Fort Hood in Texas, another base that had its name changed, and then is now being changed back.
Fort Gordon, forever and always. I don't care what the signs say. I mean, I guess maybe the newer generation who haven't lived here as long as we have, I guess you can call it Fort Eisenhower. But if you have, like, any actual connection to the base, at least prior to the last 2 years, I don't think anybody's comfortable calling it Fort Eisenhower.
But a lot of signs that were once Fort Gordon, then changed to Fort Eisenhower, would then have to be switched back, making some wonder how much all this change could cost.
It is a fair question, but Will and I were just talking about this. If you aren't familiar with Master Sergeant Gary Gordon, you might be familiar with the movie Black Hawk Down. I think a lot of people are familiar with that battle after seeing that movie.
That's immediately what I recognize too when you had mentioned that, because I've seen that movie over 100 times. So going after a name where it's someone who is very prominent and well known and also was honored as well. Thanks for the updates there, Audrey. And developing tonight, a fallout continues to unfold between Burke County Commissioners and Burke County Sheriff Alfonso Williams. Tonight, the chairman of the Board of Commissioners is requesting the governor to investigate the sheriff. This comes as Williams wants to arrest the county manager and the Board of Commissioners. 12 on Your Side Investigates has been following this battle between the two departments for years now. As for the investigation inquiry, we have reached out to the governor's office and Senator Max Burns for comment. Of course, we'll let you know when we hear back.
Making the roads safer for your children, that is something Columbia County leaders are putting to action tonight. Construction is underway for a new roundabout near Greenbrier Elementary, Middle, and High Schools. We're showing you video of what progress looks like tonight. It'll be located at the intersection of Riverwood Parkway and General Woods Parkway, right by those schools, a very busy area. The Director of Engineering Services tells us it'll make the intersection safer and more efficient. He says the project is on schedule to be finished by the time students return in August. And in just 24 hours, you can share your thoughts on a newly proposed roundabout that could come to a busy part of Grovetown as well. Another busy part. We're showing you video of Robinson Avenue where that roundabout would go if you give it the thumbs up. The purpose of the project is to reduce accidents, leaders say, and improve traffic there. That meeting is tomorrow from 5 to 7 at Grovetown City Hall. You can also provide input in an online survey. We've got that link for you on our website and our WRDW app. Just search Grovetown Roundabout.
Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger paying a visit to Augusta as Thanks, Mary. A boil water advisory has been lifted for parts of Aiken County. It was issued for customers in Jackson. So if you live on Green Pond Road, T. Rose Drive, Mamie's Lane, and Boss Hog Lane, you no longer have to boil your water before eating or cooking with it. Riley?
Well, we are keeping an eye on a stronger thunderstorm in northern Aiken County. This is impacting areas around I-20 near Foxtown and still bringing some of that heavy rain to portions of Saluda and Edgefield County. Update here and also a look at the rest of the week for you just after the break.
A multi-million-dollar lawsuit filed by survivors of the deadly Sapelo Island gangway collapse are calling out builders. Coming up, emotional testimony from a survivor.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
The only thing you want for your estimate.
The News 1226 First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
The First Alert Radar Network. First just got faster. Now, your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale.
Welcome back in, folks. If you do have any evening plans, even up until early tonight, we're going to have the opportunity for more of these hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. Luckily, the severe weather threat is lower than previous days, but technically not zero. We've actually had a severe thunderstorm warning already in Aiken County. What's happening is we have the sea breeze front moving inland, so that's going to help lift up some showers and storms. That's going to continue our way into the even past sunset, so that's going to keep our rain chances in play, possibly as late as midnight in a few spots. Right now, we're dry around Augusta. We're still looking at that strong thunderstorm right at the Tri-County border of Edgefield, Saluda, and Aiken County near Foxtown, bringing some heavy rain. And remember, if you're going to be driving through these downpours today, turn your headlights on, but don't turn on your hazards. That makes it very difficult for other cars to kind of gauge distance between you and them whenever those hazards are on. We have seen a pretty decent thunderstorm over North Augusta, and that actually dropped possibly 2 inches of rain in just about an hour and a half time frame. So definitely leading to some ponding on roadways, and just definitely take it slow if you are passing through those thunderstorms over the next several hours. Here's a look at a downpour we're looking at in McDuffie County. That's heading towards, looking towards Thompson right there. These are producing some very torrential rain rates, so some localized flooding issues definitely not ruled out either. 85 degrees there at the airport. We've been as high as around 90 so far today, so it's been a hot day and very humid too, which is just a good recipe to see these showers and storms bubble up. Once again, we'll keep these around through sunset, possibly even up until midnight, especially on the Georgia side of the river. As we head towards tomorrow morning, expecting a dry start to our Thursday, but by the afternoon, we'll likely start to see more of these hit or miss showers or storms bubbling up across the area. That'll stick around up until midnight again. So this is just going to be a copy and paste forecast over the next several days. Friday, very similar. Just going to continue our setup with mainly dry conditions early into the day, but as we continue to heat up, we see that sea breeze start to push inland. That'll be enough to set off some storms, but relatively low severe weather chances over the next several days. So kind of like what we're seeing this afternoon, to where maybe a stronger storm can briefly bubble up, but then most of the activity will track throughout the afternoon, should stay sub-severe. Looking at your Thursday, as far as temperatures go, we're going to wake up in the low 70s, and afternoon highs will eventually reach the upper 80s. So very seasonal for this time of year. Looking ahead towards our Father's Day weekend, we are not going to see too much change in our weather pattern. Next week, though, it does start to warm up a little bit more. We'll get back into the mid and low 90s starting next Monday.
All right, summer's here. Thanks for that, Riley. We're on your side with a safety alert tonight ahead of Elder Abuse Awareness Day. The IRS says millions of seniors each year become victims of scammers. Some of the most popular financial scams include romance scams. That's a big one. Lottery scams, too. Even grandparent scams. If you suspect you or a loved one is a victim, we did some homework for you, and we're on your side tonight with what you should do. First of all, contact your bank to protect your account. If wire transfers were sent, you need to request a recall and a hold harmless letter. That is something you get from your financial institutions. Also protect your credit by contacting major credit bureaus. That includes Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And lastly, report scams to authorities. You need a paper trail. On your screen is the Elder Fraud Hotline, 833-372-8311. You can call that number if you or someone you know are caught up in a scam.
And survivors of the deadly Sapelo Island gangway.
Breaking news live at 5. We just got word about a shooting in Edgefield County. The sheriff says it happened on May Street in Johnston this afternoon. Now, these are all the details we have right now. We are on your side as we work to learn more, including if there are any suspects, injuries, or if anyone was killed. Of course, we'll let you know as soon as we hear back. We're back in a bit.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Let's settle this. Physicians Mutual.
All right, folks, just take a look at radar again. We'll take a look at some different spots we haven't been mentioning all too much. So central Wilkes County, just outside of Washington, we got a heavy downpour there. These are sub-severe and not necessarily producing too much wind, but some heavy rain and cloud-to-ground lightning are the hazards that we're going to have to monitor with these. So specifically, if you're going to be driving through them, make sure you are taking it a little bit easier. And a little bit further south through Jenkins, Screven, Burke County, we're looking at just some very tiny bubble-up little showers and storms passing through, especially along Highway 25 right here. That one south of Millen is looking a little bit healthier, definitely producing some very heavy rain. That one has the most lightning that we're looking at. Remember, the rain chances are going to continue most afternoons for the next 7. We're going to be locked into a very seasonal, summer-like pattern. So high temperatures topping out near 90 through Sunday, and each afternoon we'll have the opportunity for more of these hit-or-miss showers and storms. Here's a look at it. So even by midnight tonight, we could still see some of this thunderstorm activity across the area, mainly on the Georgia side of the river is where that's anticipated. Once we get towards early tomorrow morning, waking up to some cloud cover. It'll be muggy start to the day. Temps will be near 70 degrees. And then as we start to heat up, we'll eventually get those highs into the upper 80s. I would say rain chances look relatively low until we get to after around 1-2 p.m. And then we'll start to see just this coverage of hit or miss thunderstorms. So there is going to be the potential for more rain tomorrow. Some will see more than others. It does look like a feast or famine event. So some will see some of that heavy rain while others do stay completely dry. And through tomorrow evening into around midnight, we'll have more of this activity as that sea breeze front just continues pushing inland. It's going to be colliding with those cold pools from these thunderstorms and initiating new development. So just a heads up, keep that First Alert weather app close by. That's going to be your best friend over the next several days.
We're continuing to follow that breaking news, a story we just told you about. Developing right now, a multi-agency hunt is underway. They're searching for a woman after a crash in North Augusta.
Now, officials say it happened on Gregory Lake Road at the entrance of Gregory Landing subdivision. We're showing you a photo of her right now. Her name is Susan Rhodes. They say the woman is wearing a bright red shirt, has an arm sling, and was last seen going through a yard on Gregory Lake Road. Now, officials say a witness tells them she appeared to be disoriented and possibly suffering from a medical issue there.
We want to show you a live look at the scene right now as crews are on the ground with canines. They also have drones in the air. Officials say Rhodes went off the road during that crash. She went into a ditch, we're told, before she got out of the car and wandered off into the woods. Now, again, we are live there on the scene, and we want to let you know, if you see this woman, the woman we just showed you a photo of, you are urged to call North Augusta Dispatch. Again, they believe that she has had a potential medical situation and she appeared to be disoriented.
Yeah, it's something we'll continue to follow, and we will be back after a short break, and we'll continue to follow this too.
Riley?
Yeah, scary situation out there, guys. Hopefully they can find her soon. Well, if you have seen the rain, you've cooled off, but... Welcome back in, folks. We're taking a look from our Thurman Dam cam over the lake, and you can see that distant storm that's actually moving through Wilkes County at the moment, trying to make its way into Lincoln County. Some ominous-looking skies, but luckily that storm is sub-severe and likely only producing some heavy rain and some cloud ground lightning. 85 degrees in Augusta. We did have a quick little cool down with a shower around North Augusta, but we've started to warm back up again. Right now 85, but we've been as high as around 90 degrees before that rain did start popping up. Remember, through this evening into tonight, up until about midnight tonight, we'll have that opportunity for some hit or miss shower and thunderstorm activity, so make sure you are keeping an eye to the sky. Not everybody is seeing the rain at the moment, but you could see a passing shower storm up until that midnight hour. Heading into tomorrow, it's going to remain hot, it's going to remain humid. Feel like temperatures will most likely top out into the mid, possibly upper 90s in a few locations, and that's what's going to help drive those thunderstorms to develop later to tomorrow afternoon. So you can see over the next 7 days, our pattern is not going to change all too much. If you have any plans for the weekend, may not necessarily need to cancel them all, but mainly to the afternoon and evening time, we'll be tracking those thunderstorms across the area.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news and weather coming up after a short break. Stick with us.
Severe weather season is here, but you're good. You get the First Alert with forecasts where you live. WRDW First Alert weather on your side.
Right now at Rooms to Go. Shop and go.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your First Alert. You can find ice-cold refreshment right here at Parker's Kitchen. Cool off with a large fountain or frozen drink for just 79 cents. Only at Parker's Kitchen. Live from Augusta. Breaking news.
We are continuing to follow a breaking story we just told you about at the top of the hour. Developing right now, a multi-agency hunt is underway. Investigators are searching for a woman after a crash in North Augusta.
Now, officials say it happened on Gregory Lake Road at the entrance of Gregory Landing subdivision, but take a look. We're showing you a photo of her right now. Her name is Susan Rhodes. They say the woman is wearing a bright red shirt, has an arm sling, and was last seen going through a yard on Gregory Lake Road. Now, officials say a witness tells them she appeared to be disoriented and possibly suffering from a medical issue.
Your Sydney Hood is live on the scene right now as crews are on the ground. Sydney, what have you been able to find out?
Well, this is where those multiple agencies are meeting up. We've got the Edgefield County Sheriff's Office in North Augusta Public Safety behind me. They are in the West Martintown Business Center off of Martintown Road and Gregory Lake Road. And this is kind of their meeting spot where they're sending crews out to search for Susan Rhodes. They've got the drones out, they've got canines out. We did a drive down at Gregory Lake Road up until around Maple Drive, and we could see officers in both marked and unmarked cars members kind of spaced out on the road looking for her. Right now we've got Edgefield County EMS that's heading out right now. They were parked here whenever we got out here around 10 or so minutes ago. But like I said, what you see behind me is where crews are meeting at before going out and looking for her. But I was talking with Lieutenant Swan from North Augusta Public Safety, and he says that they have called in other agencies to come down here and help them search for her. So he says it's a very active search, and it's going to take multiple agencies to get out there. But like I said, crews have been coming in and out right here doing their search, and like I said, very busy back here behind me. And like Lieutenant Swan told me, it's going to take multiple agencies, so it's really an all hands on deck effort out here.
And it looks like crews are moving in and out of the area there behind you, Sydney. I know we saw the big truck just leave right there behind you, but again, law enforcement out there looking for a woman named Susan Rhodes, last seen wearing a bright red shirt, has an arm sling, last seen going through yards there on Gregory Lake Road is what it's called.
Right, and they've got drones in the air and canines too on the ground. If you're in that area and see some of that commotion, if you see her though, law enforcement hopes you'll give them a call.
Yep, thank you for the report there, Sydney. Of course, we'll continue to keep you guys updated as we learn more. Riley?
Well, if anyone's been out and about today, you've likely seen some rain or encountered some rain. We are tracking some hit or miss showers across the area, just holding steady with our very summer-like pattern, and it looks like that is going to stick around through the rest of the week and most likely continue even into next week. So it's been hot and humid most of the day, and now we're starting to see some of these showers and storms develop. Here's a wide look at radar. You can see they're very hit or miss, but what we're noticing is that a lot of these are actually impacting a lot of our smaller towns around the area, so impacting where a lot of us do live. So I'm sure many of us have seen this rain today. Here's a look at it, and this is actually going to continue to track this right heading into southern Saluda County, northern Edgefield County. You can see the skinny blue line right here. That's what we call an outflow boundary, and it acts like a mini cold front that can help pop up new showers and thunderstorms. So that's what we're expecting to occur over the next several hours and even past sunset in many of our counties, especially on the Georgia side. Going to the Georgia side of the river, you can see some rain popping up around Waynesboro, Thompson, also closer to Sparta and Hancock County. So there's definitely rain out there, folks, but it's very hit or miss. Just looking at some of these pulse-like thunderstorms right now across the region. These will continue into this evening, and most likely going to see this coverage look like this up until about the midnight hour. Most of us are in the 80s right now, unless you have seen some rain. Then that does quickly cool you off down into the 70s. Have a look at the rest of the weekend, that weekend outlook for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Plans to expand a fastly growing sport gridlocked in the Augusta Commission.
Some city leaders are hesitant on the idea of a new $80 million tennis pickleball complex. It would be on Wheeler Road near Doctors Hospital. We're showing you a map of that area right now.
Commissioners did not say no to this plan, but they didn't say yes either. Your Sydney Hood explains what it'll all take to make this plan come to life.
The plans for this empty space behind me sounded like a grand slam at first, but for now, play is paused until an agreement is met on both sides. Local business owner Troy Akers proposed to commissioners 18 champion-sized tennis courts and 48 pickleball courts. He says it's an $8 million project, and he's asking roughly 10% from the city. Some city officials fear this could hinder their plans for upgrading places like Newman Tennis Center and Fleming Tennis Center. But those for the project say whether you play the game or not, this is something that will benefit everybody.
And the goal is to make this better for the constituents, right? A place for them to play pickleball and play tennis, to exercise, to work out, because the facility would have gyms, would have all kinds of stuff. If we can incorporate it, we'd love to incorporate, a walking track that's safe and secure, so the residents can use it if they don't, participate in the sports.
Pickleball may be exploding in some areas, but in Augusta, the next big complex could get benched. Why the city is not completely sold on the idea, that's coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
All right, over in Columbia County, pickleball continues to be a hit, though. To keep up with the growing sport, Columbia County is now offering beginner pickleball classes for adults. Right now, the county has 10 pickleball courts at the Racket Center. Patriots Park Gym and Lakeside Park can also convert to 6 pickleball courts. Blanchard Park and Lonnie Morris Park, they have multiple courts as well.
We're hearing from the commanding general at now Fort Gordon just one day after President Donald Trump announced the renaming. Hearing from the commanding general at now Fort Gordon just one day after President Donald Trump announced the renaming. The instant name change comes about a year and a half after the post was named Fort Eisenhower. Now Fort Gordon bears the name of Master Sergeant Gary Gordon. He was recognized for his valor during the Battle of Mogadishu in Somalia in 1993. Gordon died defending wounded soldiers.
We will go back to being named Fort Gordon effective immediately. And I expect everyone in this room to welcome each other, welcome people coming, and to refer to this as Fort Gordon.
He says the post will continue to honor former President Dwight Eisenhower through various means on the installation. That includes the hospital, which is named and known as Eisenhower Army Medical Center for decades before the post was renamed.
Well, if you don't have it yet, make sure you do download our First Alert weather app. That's going to be the best tool to have over the next several days. More showers and thunderstorms staying in the forecast. We'll have that forecast for you next.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
George St. Entry Lawyer.
The lazy.
Now, your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hader.
Welcome back in, folks. More of the same out there this afternoon. We do have more showers and storms we're tracking across the area. The only warning across the region right now is just north of Charleston, closer towards the coastline on the east side of 95. What's going to be driving our thunderstorm development, pushing in towards this evening and even into the overnight hours, is that the sea breeze front is going to continue moving inland. That's going to help pop up new shower and thunderstorm development, even possibly as late as midnight in a few spots. Closer look at home right now. We are dry in Augusta, North Augusta, even downtown Aiken, but we're looking at a stronger thunderstorm moving into northern Aiken County, southern Saluda, and even northern Edgefield County. On the Georgia side of the river, we have some rain just passing through Thompson, trying to get its way towards Harlem, and then we just had a little pop-up downpour between Washington and Lincolnton. We're going to keep this coverage mainly hit or miss, may turn scattered at times, especially as that sea breeze front does start to push a little bit further inland. But once again, up until midnight tonight, just make sure you are staying weather aware. Heavy rain, cloud and ground lightning, the main concerns, but can't rule out maybe a thunderstorm producing some brief strong wind gusts. Heading into tomorrow, it's going to be most likely like today out there. Seasonal high temps near 90 degrees. It's going to be humid. We're going to have more of these hit or miss showers and thunderstorms Thursday afternoon up until around the midnight hour. Main concern tomorrow, once again, heavy rain, cloud and ground lightning, but can't rule out some of these pulse thunderstorms do briefly produce some strong wind. Heading into our Friday, another seasonally hot day, more hit or miss storms, and the best way to stay on top of them is downloading our First Alert weather app. That's going to be the best tool to have, especially with that interactive radar. Quick look at the next 5 days. You can see that the rain chances just stick around all the way through even our Father's Day weekend and next week. But it looks like by around the middle of next week, we finally start to get a little bit hotter and most likely a little bit drier too. So thunderstorm chances do look slightly lower by next Wednesday, but until then, keep the umbrella close by late in the day.
Thanks for that advice, Riley. The aviation industry cannot hire fast enough. The baby boomer generation is aging out, and vacancies are growing rapidly.
And that's why the Aviation Academy is showing Augusta teens that opportunities are available. Your City Palmer brings us to the kickoff event earlier today at the Boys and Girls Club.
I just wanted to learn more about planes.
Many teenagers, like Derek, have similar curiosities, but lack of exposure can limit teens from pursuing aviation.
And I think about myself driving down Wrightsboro Road, and if I didn't have a background in aviation, I wouldn't think twice at looking at Daniel Field.
Conversations surrounding aviation are limited to 1 or 2 careers.
Pilots, TSA.
But there are a vast majority right here in Augusta.
There are hundreds of jobs at Daniel Field. Let alone at Augusta Regional. We've got great facilities out at Augusta Regional Airport with mechanics opportunities as well as air traffic control, TSA agents, and working for the airline.
And energy is already buzzing about the kickoff event.
I'm just happy that we were able to come through and make it all come together for the children this summer.
And this program could change teens' lives.
It's incumbent upon us to show the kids these opportunities, and hopefully it hits with one of them. It may not, but you know, I really think that one of those kids in the classroom is going to end up working in the aviation industry because of what we are doing today.
The Aviation Academy is a part of the Boys and Girls Club's commitment to success for high school youth in the Augusta area. For information about this program and others, you can go to wrdw.com or our WRDW app. Happening now, hundreds of Marines and thousands of National Guard soldiers.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
What's for everyone?
Welcome back in, folks. Taking a look at our fishing game forecast heading into tomorrow. We are just after the full moon, so that can impact fishing a little bit, but it looks like we have a minor peak tomorrow around mid-afternoon, just after 3 p.m., and then ideally you want to wait until after sunset around 9:20. Now, that is going to be a time frame when we are tracking the potential for some showers and thunderstorms heading into our Thursday and Friday, but actually starting Friday and continuing on Saturday is the Georgia Bass Nation State Classic, so we're going to have a lot of high school bass anglers on the lake this weekend, and actually starting Friday they'll start that competition. So if you want to check out weigh-in for that, they're going to be holding that at Wildwood Park, and right now we're looking at the chance for some showers and thunderstorms both afternoons over the next couple and even extending that into the weekend. So definitely encouraging all those anglers to be safe heading into Friday and Saturday. Here's a look at the planner for your Friday. We're expecting high temps to be in the upper 80s, and once again this is Thursday night around midnight heading into early Friday morning. You can see those showers and storms around, kind of similar to what we're expecting for the rest of tonight. By Friday morning, though, as they start to leave Wildwood Park, it should be mostly dry. Just going to look at scattered cloud cover across the region, and as we heat up throughout the day, that's when we'll start to notice more showers and thunderstorms across the region. So just make sure you keep an eye to the sky and have that First Alert weather app close by.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. If you're still looking for the perfect Father's Day gift, there's no shortage of tech toys out there, but sometimes the best tech is the classic kind.
Yeah, your consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker spins some gift ideas for music-loving dads who grew up on vinyl.
There's something magical about dropping the needle on an old record album. Dads reminisce about the look and the feel and maybe even the smell of these old records. And now that vinyl's making a comeback, it may be the perfect low-tech Father's Day gift for high-tech dads. It starts with a turntable, and you can find some good ones for about $100 at Walmart, and some even have Bluetooth to stream to modern speakers. And mid-range models like this one from House of Marley offer better sound and lots of style. For best results, look for a turntable with a built-in preamp to work with today's stereo gear. And for serious music fans, vintage is the way to go. Refurbished receivers and turntables from the 70s, like this one from Sensui, are beautiful, sound incredible, but they're pricey. This setup could run a few $1,000s, not counting the speakers. If he already has a turntable, records are the way to go. You can find used but original albums from the 60s, 70s, and 80s online, or pick up new releases since most artists now put their music on vinyl too. There are also live vinyl auctions on the Whatnot app and on Facebook. A seller called CollectCo streams live vinyl sales every night on Facebook and YouTube. My suggestion is local record shops with vinyl back in style. These stores are thriving and always restocking with oldies but goodies, and every music fan loves flipping through bargain bins. And best of all, if you go vinyl, you have gift ideas for every other holiday. And if Dad spends the rest of this Father's Day listening to his old music, you know you picked the right gift. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
And here's something that might surprise you. Vinyl records outsold CDs and digital downloads for the second year in a row. The last time that happened, 1987.
And yes, I know what CDs are too, which is always good. All right, we're very fortunate to have two Division II basketball programs on each side of the CSRA. It makes it easy for future Pacers and Jaguars to get a taste of what their future could look like, Alyssa.
Yeah, and for some of them, that could come as soon as 6 years old. Basketball coach Mark Vanderslice is holding his annual kids camp, giving kids the true college basketball experience. About half the roster came out to teach 6 to 16-year-olds skills, fundamentals of the game like shooting, rebounding, ball handling, providing a taste of what it's like to practice under head coach Mark Vanderslice and his staff. It's also somewhat of a surprise to those athletes that typically wear that Pacer uniform. I say that because this camp caught even forward Mason Grant off guard in a way.
It's a good feeling to know, because I don't think of myself as a role model, but, you kind of just become that naturally. So it's a cool thing just to, keep in my mind that I have to, do the right things and show these guys the way. They're still young and impressionable, so, you can teach them a lot of things, and they're easy to soak it up and develop.
Well, more on that in the next half hour. There's no doubt that eyes are on the Falcons' pass rush this season, particularly how Georgia's Jalen Walker adjusted the Falcons' defensive model. This afternoon, head coach Raheem Morris said the tape didn't lie. Walker is exactly who he is in Flowery Branch as he was on that college tape. We'll hear from Walker in the next half hour. We'll be right back after this.
Breaks for less. You get more.
Welcome back in, folks. We are still looking at some of these very tiny little downpours across the region. We're looking about I-20 and north. You can see a tiny downpour right on the Edgefield and Saluda line, and then right on the Wilkes and Lincoln County line, and then right on the McDuffie and Columbia County line. So there is some out there. It's definitely not found across the entire area. A little bit better coverage of storm activity through central Burke County, impacting Waynesboro all the way down south towards Sylvania. And what we're noticing on radar, we got a lot of outflow boundaries starting to collide, so that's likely going to initiate more thunderstorm development over the next few hours. Make sure you're staying weather aware.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.